Welcome back to Lenz's Comic Corner, classics slash non-classics. This is episode number 1140 and Doubleshot number 1034. Like I said in my One Piece review, this is discussing two Jonathan Hickman trades. First up is the second to last trade that was the trade series I was collecting as run for New Avengers. This is New Avengers Volume 3 Other Worlds. As you see in the cover, it's Doctor Strange, Namor, and Black Panther. These three get a lot of focus in this trade. Yes, along with Black Swan. Yeah, she's in here as well. This particular book, basically the artwork in here is done by two different artists. First you have Simone Bianchi, who does issues 13 and 15. And the last two are done by Rag Morales. Yes, that's very much what this book covers, 13 to 17. Yeah, and I think Volume 4 covers straight to, I think it's like 23, I think it is. Yep. Pretty much for this particular trade is just, well, how should I put it? It simply put the New Avengers, pretty much the Illuminati, back to business as usual. Destroying worlds. Trying to protect their own. Yes. Of course, you have this great art by Simon Binchy, who's... Now, the thing is, this came out during a period of time prior to the events of Secret Wars. So you have Tony Stark in this black and gold armor. Yeah, that was a look he had when Karen Gillian was writing the book for Iron Man. Yep. Yeah, that's a look he would have up until Access. Yes, with Access, he actually would stop wearing this look. He went to his superior Iron Man look, which he had briefly before he went back to his classic red and gold look with the armor designed by Dave Marquez. I don't know what happened to this armor. It's particularly very weird. Yep. And we just have a scene of basically Reed Richards meeting up with alternate versions of people he knows. Like we have Black Bolt, Magneto, Captain Marvel, who's alive in this world. Two Black Panthers, one who's T'Challa, who's basically like the White Panther. And you have Shara, who's the Black Panther. Also Black Panther as well. Professor Xavier, who at this point, yeah, you can tell basically, like, if you're reading comics at this point, that this can't be the regular Xavier, because they later on say this is Earth 23,099. Because here's the thing, Xavier was killed back in AVX, and Bendis stated during his run he will not resurrect. He will not bring back to life Charles Xavier. Charles Shaw will bring him back once basically Bendis left the X books. Yep, and we all see stuff happening during the events of Inhumanity, basically, where it just basically Reed Richards visiting a world that was affected by, similarly to the events of Infinity, while seeing a war collision. Yep. And then we cut to basically Necropolis in Wakanda. Basically, this is the Chalice place. Now, it was decreed back at the end of the previous arc of the series, of this run, where because of the fact that Namor was actually seen in Necropolis, even though he's an enemy of Wakanda at this point, yeah, because he flooded the country, Black Panther, well, T'Challa, despite the fact not being the king at this point, was deemed basically sort of a traitor where he cannot while he's Wakanda, he cannot set foot outside of Necropolis. He can go any other place in the world, no problem. But for Wakanda, Necropolis is his home. He's basically kind of under house arrest. Don't worry, this is basically undone by the end of Secret Wars. And Black Swan is cooperating with the Illuminati, just deal with basically destroying other worlds, just planting bombs and just going away. Yep. And yeah, and then we see, looks like it's a Killer Strike. Actually, Killer Strike. It looks like it's the alternate version of like various people they know. And if you want to think of it, basically, it just basically the Illuminati back no business just destroying worlds. That's what this trade is basically saying that's happening here. And you have just revisiting other worlds. Now he's on another world where he says everything dies. And he meets up with another Iron Man, Captain Britain, two Captain Britain, the other one, of course, is Betsy Braddock. Yellow Jacket looks completely different. Doctor Doom, Black Panther, And Emma Frost, who, from the look of it, it kind of looks like her Hell Club attire with the X on it. And this is Earth number 2319. Yeah. And pretty much a lot of the same stuff happens. Incursion happens when two worlds they collide, and basically the Illuminati pretty much are trying to destroy it. They're colliding with their own world. Yep, that's simply put the gist of what happens in these issues. While also planting seeds will happen in the very next arc of the series, where they take on the Grey Society. It's interesting though they have Black Swan, who, when she first showed up here, she at first was a prisoner in Illuminati, and now she's cooperating with them for the most part up until she becomes part of the Black Cabal, to become part of the new Cabal, led by Namor, but actually led by Thanos. And it's like that for the first few issues. Next three is just basically, yeah, that's 13 and 15. 16 and 17 is simply this. Just Namor and Black Panther watching over more collisions, and we see the debut of a group known as the Grey Society, which they are an analog for the Justice League. Yes. And their members are. They actually have a page for them. One of them, of course, is Dr. Spectrum. Yes, this is the same character who returned for the pages of Squadron Supreme by James Robinson. Heck, they have a character who was simply, even though he is kind of like their world's Doctor Strange, he's more like the analog for Dr. Fate from DC Comics. Yeah, that's simply what this guy is. Okay, here are the members. You have Dr. Spectrum, which is basically the analog for Green Lantern, Boundless, Flash, Sun God, Superman, the Jonin. I believe this guy's supposed to be analog for Martian Manhunter, the Norn, Dr. Fate. The writer, I think he's supposed to be an analog for Batman. But yeah, this is the group right here. And it's interesting though Robinson basically would bring back this Dr. Spectrum. Yeah, because what happened was this. Now, this Earth has been categorized as 4,290,001. Yeah, 001. That's the categorization of this Earth. Here's the thing about the Marvel multiverse. It is, you can kind of see these other worlds, the other number, but the thing is, even though there's many worlds in the multiverse for Marvel Comics, Marvel has never done what DC did, where DC has a lot of respect for the multiverse. Yes, they do keep it where it's like 52 alternate worlds. Marvel Comics tend to be overblown at how many alternate worlds there are. I mean, look at this one. 4,290,001. Wow. Are you saying there's a billion alternate Earths? That's what pretty much this is saying. And we have the Grey Society taking on what looks like the Marvel's analog to the Shadow Demons. Yep, these creatures who basically are in black, and they pretty much take on the Grey Society, which they win. Yep, they stop their incursion. And then we see previously in the Grey Society, which is simply put just their take on the whole stuff with the new Avengers, which that was really nice. I gotta say, the Grey Society is an interesting group, and look up they warp group here for the next arc, but that's simply what 16 and 17 are. Just set up for the very next arc of this run, which has the Illuminati take on the Grey Society, though this is the new lineup right after the Adapted Eye storyline, where you have Reed Richards in the suit he would wear during the first part of James Robinson's run for Fantastic Four. You have Doctor Strange. This attire he would wear for quite some time until he changed it once he got his ongoing series again. Black Panther, same outfit, not much change there. Iron Man's the same attire there. Hulk just joined with, I think it was like Avengers 24 when he finally joined the group. Of course, Hank Pym is still wearing the Hank Pym. Beast is wearing the same look. And Namor is pretty much kind of the same look he would always wear. But yeah, and then pretty much the rest of the trade that's on here digitally is just the covers for the entire story arc, which are really good. Yeah, Simon Bocci basically the first 3 issues is really good. I think it's like Rags Morales who does pretty much the other ones. Yeah. What ranking? What do I give this one? I give this one roughly a 9 out of 10. It's a damn good story arc, damn good set of issues, and you can kind of say that all of these issues are it just set up for a very next arc and leads kind of loosely set up for time runs out. Now move on to another Jonathan Hickman book. This is from Jonathan Hickman. This is House of X, Powers of X. Yes, that is simply the name of this trade. Yes, Jonathan Hickman would write this book. The House of X artwork is done by all 6 issues by Pippi Larris. Powers of X is on RB Silver with Pepe Larris in issue 6. Issue 6, yeah. Now, the thing with this particular book. Now, why did I not get the physical copy of this trade? Yeah, why? Because it's $50. That's why. Not because the story is bad, no. It's because the book cover, the asking price is too much. I'm not paying $50 for a trade unless I get it for a discount. Because I'm not paying full price for a trade. This is a good trade, but I don't know why Marvel would basically charge a trade that collects roughly 12 comic books $50. I was expecting maybe 30, but 50? Ridiculous. What is the story for these 2 miniseries? Now, these came out roughly, I think it was like just last year, this came out. Yes. This was part of the whole relaunch of the X books. Now everybody thinking, relaunch, oh no, Marvel's going to relaunch everything #1. Nope. Not necessarily. There is a relaunch, yes, but only the X titles. Not the whole Marvel comic line, which apparently people have been hating Marvel for years for doing that. Lucky enough, it's a small group of books, which is fine. I don't think anybody would have a problem with it, and the X-Men probably needed another refresh, even though they kind of already had one 2 years prior to this. Why in the world they have to have another one for is never explained. Yeah, I'm not sure why Hickman decided to do this for. But here's the thing. This was the first comic book that was released new, not like... Now they released the final 2 issues of S.H.I.E.L.D. just prior to this. That was to put issues that were already made that were never released for about 7, 8 years. Yeah, this is the first fresh, new comic book that Jonathan Hickman has done since Secret Wars. It had been 4 years since he's left Marvel. What did he do in that period of time? He went to Image. Yeah, I think everybody's probably noticed this. Like, any big name who leaves Marvel, with the exception of Brian Michael Bendis and James Robinson, with the exception of these 2 writers, everybody left to jump to Image. Everybody. Brubaker, Remender, Kelly Suhanik, Matt Fraction. Any big name writer you're fans of, anybody was fans of, who basically had books come out from like 2004 to about 2015, that's where they all ended up. Image Comics. Hickman only did, as far as I know, he did 1 comic for them, and that was the Black Monday Murders. As far as I know, the series was never finished. Though he does the usual thing where like everything has to connect. That's how he works. These 2 miniseries does something special. They are pretty much set up for a bunch of new ongoing series. Though it does set up basically many things here. It sets up, like in the first issue, it sets up a miniseries, X-Men vs. Fantastic Four, which is written by Chip Zdarsky. And here's kind of the thing. That miniseries has not finished coming out yet. I think it's roughly like 1 or 2 issues in, and that's it. The pandemic delayed everything for this one. Yeah, this also helps set up this main miniseries. While reading this, you can definitely see it sets up the main X book, which Hickman would write. New Mutants, which Hickman write that one too, along with I think it was Ben Percy who wrote the book too. They would swap back and forth. This also has set up Excalibur. Yes, Excalibur. Done by Tina Howard, who actually is a pretty damn good writer. And it would also help also loosely set up Marauders. Yes, Marauders. A fantastic comic book by Gary Duggan. Yep. Now there'll be other books released from Dawn of X Initiative. Books like Fallen Angels, which was canceled, eight issues. Cable, Wolverine. Apparently Dipple was relaunched for this one, even though Dipple was nothing to do with this. A new X-Force title, which was actually not really set up here at all. No, not really. I thought that was kind of strange. And with Hickman taking over, means that everybody who died over the years gets brought back to life. Everybody. With the exception of Multiman and Destiny. Yeah, Multiman, they never confirmed that they bring him back to life. Does not know what happened to him, why they can bring him back. But apparently it's explained in the book. And here's the thing. Mormon Taggart's alive. Yes, Mormon Taggart is resurrected. Yeah, how they do this is that apparently they gather DNA from various people who died over the years, and they bring it back on Kuroda, which is now an island nation, where the X-Men are based now. Yeah, the X-Men are based on this island, which is not the first time the X-Men are based on an island, though this one's a little bit bigger than the last island, and at least they're not being held by freaking machinery. This is not like that where it's an island that was originally an asteroid. This island is an island that's alive, but it's organic and it works with the X-Men, despite the fact this island has history with the X-Men. What history, you might ask? Well, if you ever read Giant Size X #1, you would understand. Now, I kind of thought, though, while I was reading this and reading the other books, I thought Hickman just wiped everything clean the X-Men did over the years. Nope, everything is still canon, but basically kind of give a fresh look to everything. Like, for example, Apocalypse is no longer the whole thing of survival of the fittest. He no longer does that anymore. He basically has put that aside to work with the X-Men. He, of course, would be featured in Excalibur. Charles Xavier mostly featured in X-Men X-Force. That's mostly he be featured. Jean Grey featured in the pages of X-Men and X-Force as well. Wolverine, X-Men, X-Force, Wolverine, and Savage Avengers. So forth. Yep. And it's basically you have Magneto, who's still in the look that was given to him back when Bendis was writing the book. I'm kind of glad they kept him this look. Now, as in the case of Nightcrawler, so same outfit, no really change there. Now, if you remember my review for X-Men Volume 1, they gave Cyclops a brand new costume. It's mostly a recoloring of the Bendis costume, except they swapped out the big red X that was on his forehead with his normal visor. That's what they did with the outfit. It's no longer black and red. It's sort of like a light black and basically like a light blue. That's what the color scheme is right now. Jean Grey, for some reason, is back wearing one of her classic costumes. Now I thought this was a misstep for Jean Grey because they gave Cyclops a new costume. Why not Jean Grey? Why go back to this look for? This I thought was quite strange. It's kind of a backwards in development when it comes to Jean Grey when it comes to her costumes. Wolverine, on the other hand, is wearing the awful gold and brown costume. Yeah. But aside from this miniseries, we also get a fate what happens with Sabretooth. He's captured at the beginning, and then nothing is done with him until the very end, because he's kept in jail. So they meet with the Quiet Council. Yes, the Quiet Council, which is supposed to be made up of 12 people, but they only filled 8 seats. It's mostly, if you look at the council itself, it's mostly people who have been associated with the X-Men over the years. On the council, it just, get this, Charles Xavier, Magneto, Apocalypse, Exodus, Storm, Nightcrawler, Wolverine, Jean Grey, Scott Summers, and I think that's it. Oh yeah, they also have Sebastian Shaw on the council. Yeah, he's in the council for some reason. Yeah. Let's see if we can find it here. The actual... Yeah. Oh, and also the characters who Bendis created. Gold Balls, Eve Bell. Yeah, they're back. Evie Bell, first time since Bendis left the X-Books back in 2015 that she finally returns here. Gold Balls. Last time he was seen was actually in the final issue of Bendis' run for Spider-Man. Well, the Miles Morales Spider-Man. Yep. And they also brought back Proteus. How the heck this guy is alive is not really explained here. It's like, oh, Proteus is back. Despite the fact that when he was last seen back in the Rosha, he was shattered in Earth's atmosphere by Magneto of all people. Also, the habits where Doug Ramsey works, who has an arm basically is Warlock, and he works with Kuroda, the island country that they live on. And they're also cooperating with Mr. Sinister of all people, and it's implying one of the main villains of this whole entire initiative is going to be Nomad and this creature known as Mother Machine. Yeah, it's quite interesting though how they do this. And at one point they have these fallen X die but they get resurrected. It's just Archangel, Cyclops, Nightcrawler, Jean Grey, Monette, Wolverine, and a couple others. And they all get pretty much their names reinstated by Storm. Yeah, Storm says to the council for some reason. He just does. Let's see if I can find it here. Yeah, Forge is here as well, because you have build stuff here. Yeah, the whole purpose of Emma Frost, she has no association with Cyclops in here. We also have brief appearance by Gorgon of the Hand. We even see the return of the Omega clones. Yes! I never thought I'd see these three again. Especially since, well, they were dead, but now they're back. The Omega clones, in case you don't know who these three are, they're clones of Omega Red. They first showed up in the pages of Rick Remenders and Kenny X-Force. Yep. Why in the world they're back? I have no idea. They're just back for some reason. Oh yeah, and the Fantastic Four, when you see them in here, they're wearing their current outfits that Dan Slott gave them in the current run. Okay, here's the Kawaii Council. This is the full member list of the entire members. The Autumn is made up of Professor X, Magneto, and Apocalypse. Winter, Mr. Sinister, X's, and Mystique. Spring, Sebastian Shaw, Emma Frost. There's a Red Queen, but that won't be revealed until Marauders. Summer, Storm, Jean Grey, Nightcrawler, Kuroda, Cypher, aka Doug Ramsey, and Kurota. The Great Captains, Cyclops, Gorgon, Bishop, and Magic. Interesting the whole Bishop's back. Especially since the last time he was seen was back in Charles Schultz's X-Men, Astonishing X-Men book. And with one of the issues, when they established the Quiet Council, they established their laws, like they had to follow, basically establish the rules, and because basically these are laws: make more mutants, murder no man, respect the sacred land. And because Victor Gree broke the thing, he gets put into. He's found guilty and put into suspended animation inside the island itself, which he stays. Yep. Yeah, he stays exiled inside the island itself, which, as far as I know, it's been a year and he hasn't broke out since. Yeah, and for some strange reason, I have no idea why this is. Yeah, where, like, I think it's supposed to be like the final issue of House of X and Powers of X, where they have several repeating pages for some reason. They have, like, this big celebration. Dazzler's here back in one of her gray costumes she's worn over the years. Also, the Spathback Band. And here's the thing. Siren's here. Yes, Siren's here. Despite the fact that, and for some reason, she's back wearing her costume she wore when she's part of the Fallen Angels. That's probably stuff with the Fallen Angels stuff. Why she's no longer a mythological banshee is never actually explained. Yeah. And Hickman was asked, where's Lila Miller? He says he's not ready for her yet. That's simply why he hasn't brought her back yet. He's just not ready for her. But all in all, these two miniseries are really, really good. I do recommend them for, if you're going to start the new line of X books, start here with this trade. Though I would be very careful how you spend your money because I'm not willing to spend $50 for a trade paperback. Yeah. But I'm going to give this trade roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Great trade and good starting point for Hickman's run in the X books, which is probably something that probably X books probably needed. And one thing I appreciate though, any dumb things that fans didn't like over the years, like for example, you didn't like the fact that Laura got her identity take away as Wolverine. Well, Hickman did that. Basically, she's Wolverine again. That's one thing good, and basically do something new with the X books, which I think is really good for him to do. And I'm looking forward to basically reviewing more trades that for the Dawn of X initiative. I'm planning on getting New Mutants soon, and I'm hoping to get my hands on the current Excalibur book and Marauders because I love these 3 books. They're really good. Okay, so that's it for this particular review. I have roughly one more video I want to do today, and that'll be a review of the newest episode of ReZero. And that probably it for today for videos, aside from ReZero. Maybe in their comment corner. It just depends, okay? See you next video. Bye.